What's going on, guys? Before we dive into today's video, do you want the Vikings to beat the Bengals this weekend? Because I sure do. And if you guys want them to get the victory this Saturday, make sure you drop a like on today's video. Don't jinx us. You don't want me sitting there Saturday afternoon and being like, damn, I should have liked that YouTube video earlier this week. So drop us a like on today's video, and let's dive into today's edition of Vikings Now. What's going on, guys? My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be diving into the Vikings and Bengals injury reports. We actually have some major news around the Vikings, as maybe the best wide receiver in the NFL is playing this weekend. We'll talk about that. And then also, I'm just going to be going in through a full Vikings-Bengals Week 14 preview, give you what you need to know around Jake Browning and that Bengals offense, and also how I think Brian Flores will able to, rattle his day a little bit, and I think he'll get the best of him. And then just also what to watch for in this pretty important matchup that has a lot of playoff implications on the line. Let's dive into the Bengals injury report here first. The two biggest names, or I guess three biggest names on this, are Ja'Marr Chase, Tyler Boyd, and DJ Turner. I was talking to Tom Downey here at Chat Sports today, who runs our Bengals channel. He said Ja'Marr Chase, even though he did not practice, he should be good to go. He expects him to be out there this Saturday. And then also Tyler Boyd, dealing with a foot and ankle. He was limited on Tuesday. And then DJ Turner was limited with an ankle as well. As we know, the Bengals, they got a ton of weapons in Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. But it's looking like Chase and Boyd will be a little nicked up for this matchup versus the Vikings secondary this weekend. But let's talk about the Vikings side of things. Biggest news right here is even though Justin Jefferson is listed as limited the last 2 days at practice, he told reporters today during his press conference that he will be ready to go. But some key names on here. Mattison, again, with his ankle sprain, did not practice on Tuesday or Wednesday. Brian O'Neill, tough look here. He did not practice on Tuesday or Wednesday as well, so that's really unfortunate. Chris Reed, also DNP with an illness, but Dalton Risner should be ready to go. He's been limited with his ankle as well, and also Ed Ingram. He did not play last week with a hip, but he looks like he is fully ready to go. But before we dive into the Vikings-Bengals preview and just what to watch for, let's show Justin Jefferson some freaking love down in the comment section. Type his jersey number, type those 18s down below, because he took an absolute shot in that hospital ball that Josh Dobbs took him, and he pretty much said, I know I'm going to be, bruised up, I'm going to be sore, but I'm going to be out there and ready to play. I just love the mentality. I just love what he's made of. So let's show him some love. Type those 18s down below. But let's dive into the whole Bengals situation, because obviously they lost Joe Burrow for the entire year. So let's start off with just getting to know the Bengals, see where they rank amongst other NFL teams. Then we'll dive into Jake Browning also here in a little bit. But listen, the Bengals have always been a solid defensive team. And listen, over the past couple years, we know their defensive coordinator, he's been linked to a bunch of head coaching jobs and everything. But this year it's different. And the Bengals actually don't rank out too well this season. They're 30th in total yards per game. They're 27th in passing yards, 24th in rushing yards. They are top 20 in points per game, but they're still giving up 22.1 points per outing. So obviously the Vikings offense has struggled immensely over the last couple of weeks, but now with Nick Mullen starting, they're not going against a top-tier defense. Hopefully they can get back on track. But kick it to offensively, too, they don't really rank out that well either. I mean, obviously with Burrow going out for the rest of the season, you're going to, lose he's going to lose some juice on that side of the football, man. But, total yards per game, 332. Passing yards, 229. Rushing yards, 84.7 a game. And that's 16 points per game at 23rd in the NFL. So, listen, this offense is not, as explosive as it was in years past, where you felt that Burrow and Ja'Marr connection. It's obviously a whole different team with this guy starting at quarterback. Jake Browning is going to get the nod this weekend. He was dealing with cramps, and he left the game last week, but he's all ready to go. But, man, I mean, a 75.5% completion percentage, 900 yards so far this season, and a really solid touchdown to interception ratio. He's coming off getting 2 wins over the last 2 weeks and also a 60.4 QBR. So, listen, Jake Browning, he's a very solid backup in this league, and actually over the last 5 games for the Bengals, he's gotten the last 2 victories with putting up 34 points. So this Bengals offense is definitely, starting to feel like a kind of a snowball gaining momentum going down a hill right now. And listen, I do think, and we'll kind of dive into this a little more in a second about how I think Flores will be able to, rattle his cage a little bit. But this is a good football team in Cincinnati still. They're 7-6, just like the Vikings. They're battling for a wild card spot just like we are. So listen, this is going to feel like a playoff game in Cincinnati this weekend. So I'm super excited about it. But I'll ask you guys, who you got? Do you think the Vikings will get a victory this weekend, give me a V for the Vikes. Or if you think the Bengals are going to get it, give me a B for the Bengals. Curious to see what you guys have to say down in the comments section. So coming up here in a second, I'm going to be going over 3 things that I'm specifically watching in this Vikings-Bengals matchup, because I do think the Vikings have a couple key advantages in some key spots. But I do first want to give a shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is Game Time, the best ticketing purchasing app out there right now. And if you guys head to Game Time and you guys use that code VikingsChat, you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. VIKINGSCHAT, Vikings Chat. Use that code. You guys will get $20 off your first purchase. What is Game Time? It is the best seats, lowest price guaranteed. The prices drop actually as the event gets closer. And like I said, it is guaranteed to be the lowest price out there. If you guys get this screen and put in that promo code Vikings Chat, they're just going to give you $20 off. So if you guys want to go to maybe a Vikings game when the Lions come to town next weekend, or even Timberwolves, they're really hot right now. Any concert, whatever it may be that requires you to get a ticket, make sure you guys do use Game Time and use that promo code Vikings Chat for $20 off your first purchase. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's video to make it easier on y'all, but definitely get hooked up with Game Time today and use that promo code VIKINGSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Make sure you guys do get hooked up today. But what to watch for in this Vikings-Bengals matchup, number one thing for me, and I think it's the storyline around the Vikes right now, is how good this defense has been playing, and specifically how Brian Flores has turned this defense around. So listen, I think it's gonna be Flores versus Browning. Will he be able to kind of, like I've been saying, rattle his cage and get him off this hot streak? Because speaking about a hot streak, this defense is hot right now. The Vikings have only allowed 1 touchdown over the last 3 games, which is absolutely incredible. You shut out the Raiders last week. You hold the Bears to obviously 4 field goals the week before, but they have been playing very, very good ball. And, we'll highlight a couple players on that defense right now, starting off with Ivan Pace. We obviously know he just got NFC Defensive Player of the Week, but he has an 87.1 coverage grade since Week 11, which is second among linebackers during that period. And what was his critique coming out of college? Will he be able to cover at that 5'10" stature? And he's been doing it. He had the game-sealing interception as well. We know he's a tackling machine. He's great when Flores decides to blitz him because he's got such a low center of gravity. He can kind of deke out these running backs. So Pace, as a UDFA, he's already looking like he could be a freaking Pro Bowl linebacker, so he definitely looks the part. Then obviously we know number 99, Danielle Hunter. He's been having an unreal year this whole year. A little quiet the past couple of weeks, but he's been definitely just fantastic this whole year. I mean, 13.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. That's a tongue twister right there. And then 19 TFLs and 52 pressures total, man. What I really love about Danielle this year is he's really taken the run game a little more seriously. I mean, the 19 TFLs are absolutely fantastic. So, Hunter, hopefully he can game wreck this Bengals offense, because how do you stop down a hot passing attack? You get to the quarterback, and obviously with DJ Wonham playing very, very well as well this season, I do think the Vikings have a good chance. But I also want to highlight this guy right here. Josh Metellus. He has been unreal this season. And listen, he has over 100 tackles already this year. He's been kind of that box safety. He's kind of the do-it-all. I mean, last week on Fox, they showed the stat where he's played literally every single position on defense this season, hence why he's got 1.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 4 PBUs, and an interception on the year. Whatever position it is on defense, he can play. And it was funny, dating back to training camp, even Brian Flores says he's going to be our Swiss Army knife. He's an incredibly intelligent football player, and it's really came to fruition this season. He's been absolutely playing his ass off. But also another thing to watch for, kick it to the Vikings offense. We all know Nick Mullins was announced as QB1 yesterday, so Vikings offense is going to look a whole lot different, because I will say the one thing about Kevin O'Connell that bothered me was he never created plays last week that kind of revolved around Josh Dobbs and his strengths. I felt like he was just running the same offense that he would run with Kirk Cousins, but a guy like Nick Mullins is a more similar quarterback to Kirk Cousins. And looking at his career stats here, I mean, listen, obviously it's not that pretty. 27 touchdowns to 23 interceptions, a 65.4% completion percentage, but just over 5,100 yards throughout his career. Funny enough, these stats are actually very similar to Andrew Luck, how he started his career as well. Not obviously comparing those two, but just a little fun fact there. But listen, I do think Nick Mullins has a chance to go out there and play very, very well, because this offense is built to cater a quarterback like Mullins, a guy who can get the ball out fast and on time, get it to the playmakers, obviously Jefferson, Addison, and Hockenson, and then have them kind of take advantage of a bunch of yak yards. Like, they should most likely, or they should run an offense very similar to how the Niners do it every week. Get it to McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. Do the same thing this weekend. I think the Vikings offense is going to look a whole lot better with Mullins in the lineup in comparison to Josh Dobbs. And yeah, I just think Josh Dobbs, his time is probably over. But also, what to watch for? The Vikings versus turnovers. Again, we know this. Turnovers were a huge issue over the first 4 weeks of the season. They will continue to be an issue over the later half of the year, especially against the Bears and the Broncos. But a little fun fact here. Listen, the Vikings have not lost the turnover battle under Kevin O'Connell. And it's pretty funny. No, my bad. I said that wrong. The Vikings have not lost a game under Kevin O'Connell when they won the turnover battle. So pretty cool on that side of things. Obviously, we all know that most of the time when you do win the turnover battle, you are going to win that football game. But every single time they have over the last 2 seasons, they have won that game. So that it should always be the number one kind of key to victory for the Vikings. Hang on to that football. Don't make any dumb plays. And because I guarantee you, Brian Flores will get the best of Jake Browning on a couple of them. But hey, little fun fact there. The Vikings have not lost a game under KOC when they won the TO battle. But we'll close it out here. I want you guys to predict the score. Vikings versus Bengals. I think the Vikings are going to get a win. The bookmakers out west have the Bengals favored by 3 right now. I got the Vikes 24-13. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. And always, guys, we will be live here on the channel an hour before kickoff this Saturday at 11. So make sure you guys do tune in. It's a ton of fun. We do some live play-by-play and have a grand old time. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Tune in. I'll see you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.